BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hello, I'm Ray Bradshaw and this is the Scottish Football Podcast. All the news, views and analysis you need on Wednesday the 13th of August, after Rangers held off Pilsen to progress.
Pulled back for Danilo, goal! Cameron touched it home from about 8 yards out, and that could be a huge moment in this tie.
Lyle Cameron's first goal for Rangers, crucial in Czechia, and the Scottish takeover of Serie A continues.
Udinese say they have signed one of the brightest young talents in European football after securing a deal to sign Scotland midfielder Lennon Miller from Motherwell. The 18-year-old has moved to the Italian top-flight club in a reported £4.75 million switch.
Lennon Miller signs for Udinese, while there's plenty more movement elsewhere. And we look ahead to the new SWPL season.
There's that added pressure that we're the champions and everyone wants to beat us and take points off us, and if they do, it's a massive thing. But I think it's just about kind of using that to our advantage. Yeah, just not really changing much from last season. It worked for us, so why change it and just concentrate on ourselves.
Hopefully there's as much drama in the title race this season as the previous one.
The Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Sports Scotland.
Yes, hello and welcome to this podcast episode on Wednesday. Like we said earlier, Rangers made it through. We'll talk about that in a sec, but let's chat to the guests we've got today. First of all, we get Cammy Bell, former Rangers, Kelly and Dundee United goalkeeper. Cammy, you well?
Yeah, I'm good, Ray. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, thank you for asking. People don't always ask that, Cammy. Nice manners. Good. I thought goalies were mental as well. And we're also joined by Stephen McGowan, Herald football writer at large. Stephen, there's 2 weeks left of the transfer window. Is this the best time of year for you, or the worst?
It's perfectly average, I think is the best phrase I can come up with. I don't have quite the same pressure as I used to have, but I would never say it's the most enjoyable time of the year. Still a lot of questions to be resolved, Ray, with both sides of the old firm and elsewhere.
Yeah, any Thistle rumours?
No.
Good chat. Okay, so let's start with last night's game. It's the best place to start. So European action with Rangers going through to the playoff round despite a 2-1 defeat in Pilsen. So, Cammy, we'll start with you, a former Rangers player. They're through, but the performance not as energetic as the home leg. It doesn't all feel hugely positive around Rangers right now, would you say that?
No, certainly after the result of the weekend against Dundee at home, there was that negativity set in again. And again, for me, last night, it was sloppy. It was a sloppy performance. They got over the line, they got the job done, and that's what they were there to do, was make sure they progressed into this next stage in the potential of qualifying for the Champions League. But yeah, there's real worrying signs there for me. They were very sloppy in possession last night, gave the ball, turned it over far too much, and allowed the opposition, again, too many opportunities. And Rangers have done that a number of times under Russell Martin, and again, he kind of identified last night how poor they were in possession, and they can't afford to keep giving up possession to oppositions, and that's going to create opportunities for the other team, and it did last night. It hurt them, they got beat, but ultimately it was job done. But they're going to have to improve, and pretty quickly as well.
And Cammy, you said they're letting a lot of opportunities on them. The stat I've got in front of me, Russell Martin's side have now faced 97 shots in 6 games. That's like one of your end of season nights out, 97 shots. But what's the style going to bring? Like, because can this keep happening?
No, it can't. It can't keep happening because they're ultimately going to concede goals, and I mean that's incredible. I mean, you can't give up that many opportunities to the opposition. And again, you look at the level of opposition that Rangers have faced so far. It's not the highest standard, and that's no disrespect to the teams that they've faced in European action and domestically. They're going to face better teams this season. So, listen, if they give opportunities up to better teams, they will concede goals. They've already conceded goals against these sides they've faced, but it's just not good enough. They need to find a style, and you can have the style that Russell Martin does, but it's so important you don't turn the ball over the amount of times that Rangers are doing at this moment in time. They're just not clicking. They're not getting it. And yeah, that's a real worrying stat for me.
And yeah, Stephen, for yourself, you look at it all. A first Rangers goal for Lyle Cameron's probably the big positive last night. That'll do his confidence no harm. I look forward to his next press conference when he talks about how you can't score goals in Dundee or whatever he goes for there. Stephen, what do you make of it all?
Well, funny enough, I don't want to contradict the host, but the stat I saw last night was 101 shots against him in 6 games. So,
Jeez.
it's. I think the worry is, I think as Cammy said, is the level of the opposition. I mean, they played against Motherwell, they played against Dundee, without wanting to be a bit like Cameron, as you say. I think they've had their luck against Panathinaikos. I think they've had their luck against Victoria Pilsen at times. Jack Butland is there to make saves, so we can't have any quibbles with that. He's been terrific. The real big bonus so far, because if you look at how Jack Butland finished last season, there were real doubts about his Rangers career after he fell out of the team under Barry Ferguson. So he's been an absolute high point so far, but you don't really want your goalkeeper to be the main man in every game. And that's the way it's beginning to manifest. And I think the concern is that if this Rangers team goes into the Champions League trying to pass the ball out from the back as they do, they will be badly, badly exposed. And that's going to be a big worry just now.
Yeah, Cammy, Stephen said you don't want your goalie to be the main man. We spoke last week and I was asking about Liam Kelly because I thought Liam Kelly finished the season really, really well. Jack Butland, obviously the number one now. He's redeemed himself. Like Stephen said, there were some key saves. As a goalkeeper yourself, are you wanting 97 or 101 shots at you in 6? Do you enjoy that, or would you rather just a quiet day and collect that paycheck?
Ultimately, a goalie wants a quiet day, I think, because that'll give you the clean sheet that you're looking for at the start of the game. But it's certainly not something that Rangers as a club are used to facing that many shots. If you're a goalkeeper at Rangers, generally when I was at Kilmarnock earlier in my career, I knew I was going to face a lot of shots, a lot of opportunities for the opposition. When you go to Rangers, it's generally one or two opportunities, and that's why everyone speaks about the concentration levels when you join them as a goalkeeper that you need to have and have them big moments, because you only get one or two saves in a game. And that's completely flipped at this moment in time. Listen, Jack Butland's in incredible form at this moment in time, and Rangers have got to be thankful that he has found his form again, because if it wasn't for Jack Butland, there could have been some real damaging defeats in there for Russell Martin. So, yeah, he's played a huge part in some of the positivity that's still there, because if it wasn't for Jack Butland, I think the Rangers could have been out of the Champions League football, and they could have been in a worse position in the league than they already are. So, yeah, it's concerning. That starts really, really worrying that they face so many opportunities against them. And Russell Martin needs to sort that out as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and Stephen, for yourself, Nico Raskin played after a couple of games on the bench. Lots of chat about his future. Do you think he'll still be a Rangers player come the 2nd of September?
Well, I don't have the powers of Nostradamus, Ray. I can't predict that for sure. To be honest, I mean, I think the more concerning thing in the night was the injury to Cyril Dessers. I mean, Dessers has a lot of critics, a lot of people who don't think he finishes enough chances, but I think he's been another of the kind of bonus points in the beginning of the season. I think he's a really good guy to have about the place. And if that is a knee injury that looks as bad as it is, then they're going to have to rely on Hamza Egeman, another man who's been a lot of speculation over coming in and trying to do a job in this playoff against a very good Club Brugge team.
Yeah, and the Club Brugge, who they drew 2 each in a friendly, 3 weeks ago or something like that, Stephen? Do you read much into that?
Not into the friendly. I mean, I watched actually the closing stages of their game last night when they came back from 2-0 down against RB Salzburg to win 3-2, and they're an impressive team. They're really good in the flanks. They're fast, they're quick. I think this is going to be a really formidable challenge for Rangers, and to be honest with you, I think at this stage, looking at the way things are going, albeit it's early, I don't think being in the Europa League would necessarily be the worst thing for them.
You would definitely, Cammy, you would take Club Brugge in the next round over a trip to Almaty, like Celtic have got. So a wee trip to Kazakhstan or Belgium. I mean, Belgium's a lovely wee day out. I don't know, as a player, if you get to see much. How do you think Rangers are going to do? And more importantly, I found this fascinating. They've withdrawn the request to move the St Mirren game just before this tie. Why do you think they've done that? Is that the right call?
I don't know why they've done that, to be honest, Ray. I think it's whether it's a call of the way they've started the season, I'm unsure, and they want to. Is it the fact that they'll drop further behind on the table in points? Yeah. So that could play a part, and I think that possibly has played a part in the decision, the way they started the season. If they'd got all 6 points, would they have made that decision? I'm unsure. But listen, going back to the Champions League game, I think it'll be a really, really tough tie. This is going to be another level up and a huge step up, I think, in quality that they're going to face. Rangers just can't afford to give up that many opportunities in this game because, listen, the Belgian side are a good side. They've obviously been in the Champions League for a number of years and they've got quality that really can hurt Rangers. So Rangers need to find that form. They need to find the quality that Russell Martin's looking for. And as I say, they've got to be better with the ball. They've got to keep the ball. They can't keep turning it over. And I think this is going to be possibly a step too far for Rangers.
I don't think there's any great secret about that St Mirren decision. I think if you look at it, clearly when they decided they were probably going to take advantage of the opportunity to take a game off for the playoff, they thought that they were going to be a lot closer to Celtic than they are. I mean, they're 4 points behind already. Celtic have said they are not going to take that opportunity given by the SPFL to cancel a league game. So if Rangers had done so, they could have been potentially 7 points behind. And then if Celtic won at Ibrox on August 31st, they could have been 10 points behind after match day 4. So I don't think there's any great secret. I think they basically had to go and play that game against their better instincts.
Right, let's talk transfers with Lennon Miller signing for Udinese. So, Stephen, a Motherwell club record of $4.75 million for Lennon Miller. Is that a fair price, do you think?
I think it's a good price, given that he was going into the last 12 months of his contract. I mean, I don't mean it's a reflection of the player himself. I mean, he's obviously a really talented player. I just think, given that Motherwell had allowed it to go into the last 12 months, they turned down bids from Udinese in January. Rightly, as it turned out, because I think Udinese were only bidding something in the region of $2.5 million at that point. So they held firm, stuck to their guns. They've got a fantastic price. I mean, the previous record price, I think, was $3.25 million for David Turnbull from Celtic. So to smash that in these circumstances, so I say the A Club, I think, is a terrific deal for Motherwell. I kind of got wind of it on Sunday evening that he was flying out. I think I would have found it easier getting the Dalai Lama on the phone than I would have done standing that story up. But we managed to get there in the end, and I think Motherwell have to be really happy with the business they've done, because let's be honest with you, for a fan-owned club, that is potentially fantastic money in terms of like just filling the black hole, which tends to be in most financial balance sheets of Scottish football clubs these days.
Yeah, it was. I did think he could have gone for potentially more. Cammy, I'd be surprised. Cammy, did you ever play with his dad? I feel like your clubs should have crossed paths at some point. Did you ever see Lee moving for $5 million, let alone his son?
No, I certainly didn't see Lee moving for $5 million. Lee was my manager at Falkirk for a short period of time. So, yes, I actually messaged Lee last night. It was sending messages back and forth, just congratulating him. And listen, he's such a proud man at this moment in time. His son's done an incredible job at Motherwell, and he's such a talented player. And I'm delighted that he's went over there. It's another player that's moved over to the Serie A, and I think he's going to thrive over there. I really do. I think he's got the mentality for it. He's certainly got the talent, and yeah, I'm just delighted that he's made that choice to go away from football in the UK and try overseas, and I really do. I think he'll thrive in that environment. But yeah, just delighted to see a young Scottish man taking that step into the unknown and going and hopefully being a massive success over in Italy.
Yeah, I think he will. You saw him in his Scotland first 90-minute start against Leicester City. He looked phenomenal. Cammy, let me ask you this one. If we're talking more transfer news, so Danish midfielder Julius Eskesen looks set to move to Dundee United after Jim Goodwin said he needed midfield cover with Isaac Papo injured. So that'll be 17 different nationalities at Tannadice. From your experience as a player, how much does that affect the dressing room?
Listen, it's always difficult to start with, I think, with the language barrier. It depends on the players that come over, how much of English they speak. So yeah, listen, it can be a problem, but I think that as time goes on, it's eased in. The players start to feel the environment, and I'm pretty sure Jim Goodwin's done his homework on the players that he's bringing in, because it's so important. I was covering their game on Sunday, and I was really impressed with them. Again, they had the exertions of Thursday night, and it was a real difficult game against Hearts on Sunday for them to navigate their way through. They've got so many injuries. They had suspensions at the weekend, but I was really impressed with them. I was really impressed with a lot of their new players. The boy Dolchek on the left hand side he got the 2 goals, but looked a real find for me. So yeah, listen, it certainly didn't show on Sunday with regards to so many players coming in, so many different nationalities in the changing room. But yeah, I think he does still need reinforcements, Jim Goodwin. So it'll be interesting to see how the new addition fits in.
Yeah, and Stephen, Cammy mentioned Hearts there at the weekend. So Adam Forster looks like he's going to be recalled by Hearts from his loan to St Johnstone after 5 days due to an injury to Christian Borshkovic. Is this another one of those wee Scottish football anomaly transfers?
I mean, I think they've had a kind of long-standing problem with the right-back scenario, haven't they? I mean, Forrester came in last season. I just thought he did okay, actually. Slightly surprised they did let him go. But I mean, look, it's just circumstance, isn't it? I think Hearts are a team in transition. They've got James doing analytics now, pulling the strings and finding players for them. Who knows if they'll go and try and do something else. But exciting times though, isn't it? I think you're looking at the kind of slight vulnerabilities at Celtic and Rangers at the minute and wondering just how much of an impact Hearts can go and make in that. Injuries don't help, but I hope they can go and really do something and just put up a bit of a challenge, because I think that would do more for Scottish football than summer football or league reconstruction or any of the other things we talk about all the time.
Yeah, and finally, just on a transfer news, Stephen, Marko Lazovic to Aberdeen from AC Milan. I supposedly we're hearing rumours of it could be a free transfer. Obviously, Aberdeen looking very light up top. Papagay being sold and never really replacing Miovski. Lazovic, I think AC Milan spent 3, 4, 5 million on him previously. Young player. Good deal for Aberdeen?
I think when you looked at their opening couple of games, against Hearts and against Celtic, the one obvious glaring area they needed to improve was the striker. I mean, big guy Yenge needs a bit of time, obviously, to settle in, but just looked a bit, didn't look as sharp as he should be. He wasn't taking really good glaring chances. And I think they looked a bit powder puff up front. So I think this sounds like an exciting signing without having seen much of him. I think we're all in that boat, aren't we, where you see overseas players coming in and fans get excited because of the name and the glamour of it. Whether they'll shape up or not, I don't know, but I think they definitely needed more, just a bit more impetus in attack.
Yeah, definitely. And just a reminder that a new episode of Sacked in the Morning is available on BBC Sounds now. Cult hero, podcaster, and all-round maverick John Parkin joins Craig and Amy for a brilliantly chaotic episode. From crashing golf buggies before a friendly against Real Madrid to pole dancing in Krakow 3 days after knee surgery, John shares outrageous tales from a career that was anything but ordinary. Check it out on BBC Sounds just now. And finally, the SWPL season gets underway this season. Champions Hibs are going to be at home to Aberdeen to kick it off. Stephen, do you think we can see Hibs doing it again after what was an incredibly exciting title race last season?
It's always the most interesting league in Scotland. Yep. I think Fiona McIntyre said last season it was the most exciting league in Europe, and it's been that way for the last 3 or 4 years actually. Really nip and tuck title races. Hibs held off kind of Glasgow City and Rangers last season. Celtic didn't have quite as good a season under Elena Sudoku, so interesting times again. And funny enough, I don't think teams tend to retain the title, do they? It tends to be a different champion most years. So, interesting one for Grant Scott. And of course, you've got Leanne Crichton going in at the Rangers as well. So, never lets you down, the SWPL. It's given a really interesting season.
Cammy, like Stephen said there, your old BBC colleague Leanne Crichton now in charge at Rangers. Her first job as a manager. Big job to take on. How do you think she's going to do?
Yeah, listen, absolutely delighted for Leanne. Spoke to her since she's had the job and she's really looking forward to the opportunity. So yeah, listen, I think she'll do really well. She knows what it's all about. I've listened to a few interviews already and she's mentioned how important it is to win at Rangers as a football club. So that's instilled in the women's as well. So yeah, listen, I think she'll have a great season and I'm really looking forward to the season because as Stephen said, for the last 3 or 4 seasons, it's been an incredible finish to the campaign and the way that it's ended up. Hibs are obviously the team to go and try and take the title off, but I'm pretty sure Rangers, Celtic, Glasgow City will all be looking to try and nip that away from them.
Yeah, and it's just such an interesting league. Because Thistle, we got the top 6 a couple of seasons ago. Obviously, Brian Graham's left. You look at Celtic, Glasgow City, Stephen. Glasgow City brought in striker Abby Harrison, who's done well at Bristol City. She's done well at Celtic. Celtic obviously disappointed last season, like you said. How much do you think they're going to put a big push and try and get this title back?
I think they have to try, but I do think there's a question mark over just how seriously sometimes Celtic and Rangers are taking their women's teams, actually, in terms of, like, you know, are they making the signings they should be making? I mean, I think if the men's teams are performing the way the women's teams are, there would be pretty serious concern, and that can be a bit harsh on Rangers. They had a decent season last year, but certainly with regards to Celtic. So, yeah, I think they have to raise standards there. I think they have to be better this season. Otherwise, I think questions should be asked.
Yeah, and final question of the podcast today goes to Cammy Bell. So Glasgow City, I don't know if you saw, they launched their new strip. It's a lovely strip. It sold out in the first day. Cammy, did you ever get the call up for the press photo shoot to launch a new kit? And how awkward is it? Tell the truth.
I've done it a couple of times actually, Ray, and yes, it's very awkward. Some of the poses you get put in makes you really uncomfortable.
Are you picking the poses? Or are they telling you them, or what?
No, you're getting told what to do.
Give it. What is it? If people were to Google right now, what's a kit launch you look back and you don't want to have a look at?
There was one with Partick Thistle actually, where I stood, and I think I done the old, you know, the goalie one with the arms crossed.
Yep.
Didn't enjoy that.
That's perfect. That's all we get time for. Many thanks to Stephen McGowan and Cammy Bell, and thank you for listening. Remember, we're here with new episodes of the Scottish Football Podcast bright and early every day, so to make sure you don't miss out, subscribe on BBC Sounds and have push notifications turned on in your phone. Yeah, another fascinating day in Scottish football. We say bye to Lennon Miller, but more importantly, we say hello to Googling Cammy Bell's Partick Thistle kit launch. It's all you want to do in your day. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
On BBC Sounds. From life aboard a Russian submarine to chairman of Hearts Football Club.
At this stage, he was the hero.
But as his controversial decisions escalated,
they said, we're going to sack George. And I'm going, you can't do this.
How did Vladimir Romanov go from Hearts saviour to a wanted man?
He caused a whole load of chaos and havoc.
Romanov, Tsar of Hearts. Listen now on BBC Sounds.